Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and this is the BlockCast.
We're Lego fans.
Wait,
Click.
wait a minute. Is that the yellow delivery truck?
It's the yellow delivery truck.
You know what that means, everybody.
It's
It's
another new month.
it's a release day.
Yay!
Release day for May because it's gonna be May.
May.
Sorry.
You know,
You
it,
know it
it
has to.
seems like just yesterday we posted about the May releases for last year.
I don't know how we did that. If you want to know how we did that, you should go check out our other episodes that we recently released a lot of.
Yes,
We won't speculate or talk anything further, but we are talking about the May 2026 releases this time around, and it's rather different than it was a year ago. I think
that's true.
last year we were talking about the Lord of the Rings Hobbit sets, and this year it's a little bit completely different.
That's right. It's not a huge release month, but it is for a couple of different and new themes.
Yeah, it it makes sense for the theming and direction that they're going. In terms of IP, they're not extremely heavy, but they're more so brand heavy, if that makes more sense, I think.
It
So
will once we get into the sets, I think.
yeah, I think that'll make sense. But we split it up. We chose the top five that we think you might be most interested in and that we had the most to say about. So let me get that going. I will share my screen with everyone. And away we go.
All
All right,
right.
everybody. This month we are starting with
Star Wars. The
specifically,
Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter.
yes, as Josh said, we are starting with the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. For those of you listening on our podcast that can't necessarily see our screen, it's going for $249.99. It's for ages 18 plus. Notice how they don't have an end date because they want Dick Van Dyke to play with the Lego set now? Smart.
True. Yes.
1,809 pieces. It comes with Grogu, or as people would like to say, Baby Yoda, and the Mandalorian, and his ship.
Yes. Yes. And now this is the ship that we see in season three, not the trailers for the new movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which appear to be some modified version of the Razor Crest, which I believe in season two went boom. So unclear how all of that works. I guess we'll have to wait until the movie comes out to maybe get some explanation. But here we have the N1 Starfighter. For those of you who don't know ship designations in Star Wars, this was formerly called the Naboo Starfighter, as seen in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, where Anakin Skywalker flew the cool yellow vehicle into the Trade Federation starship and made it go kablooey. This one is the Mandalorians that's modified, so it is silver with patches of the yellow to give homage to those early starfighters in the Star Wars universe. And this would be fall under their Ultimate Collector series. So it is going to be one of the bigger models that is meant more so for display than it is for play, which I know is not one of Tom's favorite features in a Lego set.
If it doesn't go in the bathtub, it doesn't make sense.
Why would a starfighter go in the bathtub?
Because why wouldn't a starfighter go in the bathtub?
What they need to do, just for Tom and Tom alone, they need to release the Star Wars Bongo sub from episode one, the Gungan sub that
I had
literally
that
goes
sub. It
into
was
the water.
blue.
Yeah, we need an Ultimate Collector's Edition of that. Maybe a full-size Jar Jar statue. I don't know. I digress. Here we are talking about the Mandalorian Set One Starfighter. Now,
Uh,
like any of the Ultimate Collector series, the detail here is amazing. There's because they have so much extra space in building it big, they have the option and the ability rather to really go heavy in the details. That said, there doesn't seem to be a lot of difference between this model and the the smaller one, other than again the fact that it is bigger.
I agree with that. It's the idea that this is an in conjunction set, I think. But compared to like movie sets in the past where you have the movie come out and you have the set come out because, you know, synergy, um, it makes sense to those that really enjoy The Mandalorian. Now, it's not to be like whatever, but it is to be like whatever. I enjoyed the Mandalorian series. And going into these movie trailers, I couldn't tell you. I can't remember what happened in season three. It's been quite a long time. Don't get me wrong, I'll probably go back and watch it. I remember all the ships, I remember all the characters. I just gotta remember where we are in that storyline. But this is more like cohesion in terms of synergy. It makes sense you release this with the movie. People like the movie, they're gonna come out. A couple things that I noticed in terms of building technique, they're also releasing the Pan Am. They released the Pan Am, or will be, yeah, they released the Pan Am in April.
Yep.
If you do take a look
Go
at the
back and
wing
check our
technique,
episode to hear us talk about that one.
yeah, you should go check out the April release episode. Spoilers, um, because you haven't watched it yet. I've noticed this, like it's a wing, but it's also the same idea that they're modifying. So if you take a look at the back of the wing, I believe we did see that technique on the Pan Am aircraft as well, in which instead of in more older sets, it's just a wing molded piece. They're spending more time on the detail of a wing, which is nice, and I enjoy. The other thing that I wanted to point out, if you take a look inside the thruster, you see that it is a print on. I believe it is a print on brick, but I
Yeah,
believe
that should be a print on. I've seen that in other sets.
those are the hubcaps that they put on the F1 cars, aren't they? They are.
I think that they may be similar. It looks like it might be a little bit bigger. If we look at that in conjunction with the size of the minifig, the F1 car's wheels aren't that big.
True.
I think it's a gear piece, or similar to a gear piece that we see in Technic.
But I think the detail is there, especially if you are a Star Wars fan. Um, we've seen this Mandalorian minifig before, or is it exclusive?
It looks the same to me. I do believe that Grogu is slightly different than what we've seen before. He looks a little bit bigger, and a little bit more shape in the body. Previously, he had been the standard like baby minifig, and I could be wrong about this, but it looks like a slightly different design for Grogu.
But yeah. So if you're interested in Star Wars, this is going to be the set for you this month. And
Yep.
that is the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter set number 75422.
And we forgot to mention that the price per piece is a little bit high. Again, we expect this with IPs, but Star Wars particularly has been a little bit heavier with this. We are looking at about 14 cents per piece.
That is pricier. The, that's the idea that they more than likely will get away with it with the film synergy. I
Yeah.
don't think if they had the film, they could be able to get that much for it. Though. Well, they could, but they couldn't. It's the idea that it's fresh on the mind. I digress. So, Josh, let's let them know what the next series of sets we're going to be talking. Like we say plural here. We say plural. We haven't done this on a set release yet, but this is the first time we're doing this in this way.
Yes.
Um,
So earlier, the over the last year, Lego has announced a new theme called Lego Editions, which kind of collects sports themed products. We've seen the Nike Dunks, we've seen some of the Nike theme sets, the FIFA World Cup official trophy we've seen. But in May, we are getting heavy into FIFA World Cup product.
yeah.
So there are a couple sets that we want to kind of really talk about that are coming out in May. We're going to look not at the celebration. We're going to look at the Soccer Legends series and then the Moments series. So here we are looking at Lionel Messi Soccer Legend and Cristiano Ronaldo Soccer Legend. Both of these will come out on May 1st. And if we scroll down just a little bit more, the soccer highlights, the moments for Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe. Uh, and Vinny Jr. Are coming out on May 1st as well as the 2026 U.S. Soccer National Team jersey that it will be available on May 1st. So this is a broadening of this theme. Previously, there had only been a couple of sets, but with the 2026 World Cup happening this year, there is a lot of interest globally because the World Cup is massive outside of the United States, but within the United States, the U.S. is hosting it, so it's going to be pretty big here, going on throughout the rest of the year. And I think that's why Lego has so heavily invested in these sets to be released because it will have the international kind of appeal that it would have any other year, but more so in the US because of it being hosted here as well.
The only thing that I want to say in conjunction with this, it makes perfect sense. I'm back on synergy again. It's interesting to see the amount of sets coming out for one specific event. The only thing that I can compare this to, that we've seen things like this where they're preparing multiple sets to be released all in one go, is F1. We saw this happen when they released the whole line of cars with F1, and you had the Mystery Series, and then you also had each individual car from every single sponsor and team. Um, it's interesting that they're releasing all nine sets in a go rather than giving each set its own time on the shelf. Um, in terms of marketing and advertising, us being in the US, soccer, football is very popular, but not, I wouldn't say it is as popular as it is in Europe. The popularity is growing. We are getting more so city and or state-based teams. In the United States, it is well received and well watched, but not on the level that it is in Europe. So a lot of the marketing and advertising for this, there has not been a lot compared to the other sets. I have not gotten this really across my feed. I have not seen a lot. I saw the Lionel Messi commercial, but besides that, there was not a lot of advertising done towards us. And in terms of us, meaning at least that I've seen in my channels of the US market in terms of advertising these sets. I did not know they were coming out until I think the beginning of this week. Um, which is something that it's interesting because they have so many of them. You think they would start that campaign a little bit earlier because we're starting to see sets now that are coming out in September, and we're just hearing about these sets now. So I wonder if this was different, and these were advertised in Europe way before they were advertised to us here. So I wonder if that's what they would have done. But it's really great to see, especially if uh, you have those that really enjoy these legends and enjoy these players, because these are some very well done sets. But there's some interesting pieces along with these sets as well.
Yeah, it it seems that the faces of these players are actually molded. Um, Similar to what we had, this is years ago, we're going way back with the Star Wars, they were almost Bionicle type
Yep.
builds, but they had molded faces like this. I don't think we've seen these same molded face type tiles since that line. So they're making a reemergence here, but I don't think we've ever seen Lego focus on large scale statues of real people, not characters from movies or shows. It's an interesting branch off, and the expansion potential is unlimited. If you want to take this in the direction of other sports brands, of other major figures, would we ever see a like I don't know an Academy Award line and see some well-known actors or something like that they could do real life people. And with the soccer highlights, these again, you're getting minifigs with them of these same players. So they obviously have four different players that they're representing. And if you think about how many countries have teams and how many of those teams have players that are beloved, the expansion potential is unlimited. Kind of like F1. There were so many different cars and so many different sponsors and everything that the reason they release so many is because everybody's going to have their favorite. So
Yep.
they want to give them choices. The soccer highlights, I think it's very easy to do that because these are relatively low cost, $30 for it looks like 490 to 500 pieces. It comes out to about 6 cents per brick, which on a value side is phenomenal. And it looks like it's mostly because it's all mostly little pieces, not a lot of exclusive elements except for the player and their card. But the way that they could expand this to include other favorite players is there's a lot that they could do with that.
Yeah. No, this is definitely has expansion potential. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. The last soccer set that I remember coming out was you remember the old flick, the ones where you used to put them on the thing, pull it back, and they'd kick the ball. I had the
Yep.
bus of that. I had a bunch of sections of that, and then they also came out with NBA too. But if you have the old soccer sets, you can hook up these players and add them
For
to
your
your
roster.
game.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Josh. Josh, you
Yes,
there?
I'm here.
You've got a friend in me.
Aw,
Yeah, because we got to talk about Slinky Dog. Toy
some
Story.
strange things are happening to me
Ah.
looking at this.
All right, we are currently looking at Toy Story Slinky Dog bookends. Yes, you heard that right. So if you are a fan of any type of book and you have a wonderful book library, this is the set that you need to add to
Maybe.
your library. It goes for $149.99. It is 1,311 points. You know what's
Jesus.
interesting? On the Lego page, they don't tell you how many insider points you get anymore.
Maybe
Oh,
because
never
it's not
mind. They
out yet.
moved it. It's over down to the right.
I see it. Yeah.
975 Lego insider points. How many, what does that break down to?
So it's about 11 cents per brick.
That's not bad.
And you do get two minifigs with this. You get Woody and I believe for the first time a Slinky Dog minifig, which is pretty cool. Slinky Dog is one of my favorite characters from the Toy Story franchise, so nice to get a minifig representation of him. Um, but the choice to have him as the character for these bookends seems rather odd. Um, so to kind of describe this for you, if you are just listening to us instead of watching, there are two books. Both of them hold reference to early Pixar movies, Tin Toy and Knick Knack. And then out of those two books, which serve as the bookends, the Slinky Dog is coming out of both sides. Um, I don't necessarily get it because just by virtue of the fact that books would be in the middle of it, Slinky Dog has been bisected, which is very sad as my favorite character. I don't want to see him bisected. What I think could have been cool with a Toy Story themed bookend is you have the books, you have that same reference, but then maybe on one side you have Woody leaning up or Buzz leaning up against the other, or even some other um not do not use the characters, but use other toys. I've seen mocks before where they have had the colorful stacking rings, or like an etch a sketch or something like that, kind of leaning up on the books that you would see maybe on a shelf. So you'd have the books, you'd have those other toys, and it would look good, but made out of Lego would be really neat instead of having this character. From a practical standpoint, with how much Slinky Dog sticks out from the books, it's taking up a lot of shelf space, and you're not going to have that much room for actual books. So, from a practical standpoint, this could have been better. But, Tom, do you want to talk about Slinky Dog himself?
Okay, I know we've talked about this time and time again where we're looking at the Bust series, like with Shadow, and then we saw it. We talked about it with Yoda in last month's releases. Um, we're back to the block pieces, And that's it's good and it's not good. It's the idea that you could put less detail and effort into it because you're utilizing less pieces, which gets that cost down. I understand. Does it look like Slinky Dog? Does it make sense? Yes, because his eyes are print on, but it is one piece. It's the idea that you have a substructure where it has the outer pieces and you're putting it all together. I like that he has the ears, but the ears and the head kind of look kind of funny. At the end of the day, it's Lego. What are you going to do? I like if you take a look at his legs, they are using certain bionicle legs in the front. So there is a mix of Technic pieces in this as well. Holding it to the book, there's Technic holding the ribs of Slinky together. So there's a mixture in use of pieces from large slate block. I don't know what you would call it, flat paneled block, to Bionicle, to Technic, to different building techniques on the feet if you take a look, because you have side pieces as well. This set utilizes a lot of building techniques in terms of Slinky Dog. Now, the nice thing is that they allowed you to do is they allow you to disassemble Slinky Dog so you could have two of him. Give one to your friend, you could have the back half, they could have the front half. Whatever you'd like to do, or you can keep him as one piece. The one thing that I think is the selling point on this set, and it's not the set itself, it is the Slinky Dog minifigure.
Yep,
I think
absolutely.
in terms of selling this set and people that are Toy Story set collectors, they will buy this not for the set, not for the bookends, but they will buy it for the minifigure of Slinky Dog. For me, that's why I would buy it. I think the Slinky Dog minifigure is really cool. The tail's a little bit funky, but besides that, I love this thing and it fits to the scale of Woody and the other minifigures. It's so well done. Don't forget, if you wanted to, Slinky Dog is not permanently attached to those books. You can hook him up and he can be his own Slinky again. And then you can stand him on the books next to a miniature version of himself. Josh, let him know a little bit about the pop out. Well, I want to talk about this a little bit further with you, but let him know what these books can do.
So in the spines of the books, there are hidden compartments where you can hide the minifigures. So if you have it on a shelf and you don't want the minifigures there for where they could get lost, you can insert them into the books and then they can pop out in a surprise and delight type moment. Um, However, as we talked about, we think the minifigs are the selling point of this set, so to hide them away just seems a little silly to me. But Tom, you have thoughts?
I do. Do you do you remember when we last talked about figures popping out of like iconic logo?
I seem to recall you have strong feelings about characters popping out of logos such as the Marvel logo.
Uh-huh. I don't know why they keep doing this. I don't understand. Why not like take the time and like have the book open and maybe have like, not a lot of again, more pieces, more it's more expensive. So they got to keep it in the price range. But they keep doing these pop out characters like, "Oh, but like if you have these characters, are you really going to hide them away in your books? Or are you going to play with
Yeah.
them or, display them?" So I think in building these pop out sections, it kind of takes away from how you could improve on other sections and utilizing those pieces in other ways. Because I don't know how often you'd use the pop out sections. It kind of it loses it. Like I understand what you're trying to do, but I at the same time like it's unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
agree.
yeah,
And
I
I
like the
think
books. I like the detailing on the books, but to be honest, just leave them as books. Like you don't need the characters to pop out. It's okay.
yeah. And they've done these books before, similarly, and they do look good. I like how they've kind of rounded the edges to make them look a little bit more like books instead of just blocks with book type emblems on it. So I think the design of the books themselves is actually pretty good with this. But we can see in this picture here that the Knick Knack logo is in fact a sticker,
Hmm.
which is a little disappointing. And even the star logo above Knick Knack is a full sticker.
Sticker.
So that's we don't like stickers here so much, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Um, if you are a fan of Toy Story, this is not the only Toy Story set that's coming out. Hey, that's cool. They have the interior of the book is using the color palette for the characters. So I see the little green man, I see Buzz Lightyear, I see Bo Peep, I see Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head there in the stanchions for the pizza, and the desk next to it. So it's cool that they have those little nods. Anyway, uh, this is not the only Toy Story set coming out on May 1st. There are also going to be brick-built statue versions of Lotso and the Little Green Man and a Pizza Planet rocket. We're not going to highlight those. I think you all know, since you are dear and loyal listeners, that we are not super big fans of brick-built statue characters. So I think you can just go ahead and assume what we think of those sets that are also coming out. But we wanted to highlight Slinky Dog here because of the novelty of the fact that he is, in fact, bookends.
The next sets that we are about to talk about, we talked about a little bit when we were talking about our soccer/football sets, and we are back into F1.
Yes.
Our Ferrari HP Charles, I apologize. I'm going to call it our Ferrari helmet. I don't want to mispronounce somebody's name. That is not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to make fun of anybody's name, but I do not want to say it because I do not want to inaccurately pronounce it. But we are looking at our Ferrari helmet, set number 43014. We also have another helmet. It is the other Ferrari alternative helmet in yellow of Lewis Hamilton. So there's two drivers for F1. There's multiple drivers in F1 if you're unfamiliar. I don't watch it, but I know enough. So they're offering two helmets for the team of Ferrari. It is $89.99. You can see that Editions logo down and to the left. It is ages 14 plus, so I don't know what the difference between that and the 18 plus is.
Four
What
years.
signifies the difference? 886 pieces, and you get 585 Lego Insider points. F1 is back on the shelf.
Yes. And it hasn't left. It has been popular since its introduction. All the different cars and styles and things like that. The helmet seems like the natural progression, especially since we already have the helmet series with Star Wars and with Marvel with the busts. So I think there's some novelty in having helmets for you know car drivers and things like that to come out. And I think that these can be very popular. They have a mid price point of about 10 cents per brick. It does look like these bricks are printed on, so there is going to be some novelty there for fans of the sponsors. So one of the things with F1 is that all of the cars have different sponsors, and Lego is including those in these sets. So they may be sponsored by VistaJet or Unicraft or whatever. That is included on these helmets as well. It also seems to have a pretty cool looking visor piece that hasn't been seen before. I don't know what other kind of functions that might have for mock builders, but it is a pretty neat component. These are not big; they're about 7 inches tall, but they do come with a little brick with the racer's name, their signature, and the logos, and then a minifigure of the driver as well. So again, similar to the Star Wars, except for the difference here is you do get the minifig. The Star Wars helmets, you do not get the minifig included with them
Yeah.
for the same price point.
So F1 is now getting out of the car business. It's not. It's the idea that they're providing an alternative, especially for those in terms of display. At the end of the day, just like with soccer and just like with football, F1 is something that you're sitting on your couch all afternoon, is sometimes into the evening because it is quite long races and you're enjoying the sport. While if you look
Yes.
over on your shelf, it's something that you want to display. These are excellent in terms of wanting to give somebody something to display of their team.
Yep.
When you look at these, you're gonna say, "Hey, that would look great on a shelf." They don't just buy one, they will buy both because it is their team. They support their team. That is $160 right there. I th- I think it's done well. Again, we learned with Shadow, we saw with Slinky Dog. We're seeing this a lot more. But with the helmet, you can't. I mean, you can do more, but it makes more sense in a helmet. But also, I think what gives this set its value, and it's going to sound really weird, are the advertisers and the print on brick. So if you want that print on brick for those advertisers, I think it'll do well. I think this is a nice addition to the F1 series sets. It's something that we
Yep.
haven't seen before, and I guarantee you this will sell. But I don't see the only other the direction that they would go is that they start releasing other teams in helmet form if these do well. So you
Yes.
will see that, and we will bring it to you if that time comes. Um,
Yes.
the big thing that we've been holding off until the end, and we're very excited to talk about. It's my favorite part of the May releases for 2026, Series 29.
Woo!
I'm so excited because and not to be like whatever, but this is probably one of my most preferred minifigure mystery series, at least within the last four releases since Dungeons and Dragons. I think there's enough diversity in terms of like characters. Uh, what I mean is that there's not a centralized theme like we've been seeing. Like the last one was all animal dressed up minifigures. This one, you have a chocolatier, and you have a swamp creature thing, and you have somebody who likes aqua, like the ocean. Then you have a Bionicle minifigure, which I think
Hey,
will
Tom,
probably be the most sought after.
Tom,
A tuba
Tom,
player. So
I
excited.
found Nemo.
You found Neve. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I digress. Please let us know in the comments down below which one you are most excited for because this is fun. There's also a Boba Tea girl.
And to continue on the line of World Cup, we have a soccer player as
We
well.
do have a soccer player.
But yes, this of the collectible minifigure series we've seen, we haven't seen a true mix of characters, I think, since series 24 or 25.
Yeah, it's been a
In
while.
the past handful have been all themed after one thing. So either animal costumes, space, Dungeons and Dragons, Spider-Man across the universe. All of those have maintained one single theme. So even if you picked at random, you're still going to get something within that theme. This is going to be completely different each time you pick one of these boxes. Um, these series are completely unmatched when it comes to the types of accessories that you get, the just the creativity that the designers put into these is phenomenal and so much fun. They truly do have something for everyone. I would be hard pressed to pick out any that I don't like in this series, so I'm probably going to have to go ahead and collect them all.
So Josh,
Uh,
we always talk about this with the mystery minifigures. There's always one that the resellers enjoy the most in terms of flippability,
yes.
and in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Bionicle.
I think the Bionicle is going to be a strong contender. Also, though, just based on how the uh the Wolfmaster did in Dungeons and Dragons, how the Shepherd with the goat did in I think season or series 24 or 25. I think that the unicorn is
Yeah.
also going to be a very popular piece. So I think that's going to make the maiden also one of the more popular ones.
I think this is I think this is the direction that Lego should go at least once a year because I believe they release a new they release a new mystery series every 6 months. So I think they should
I
do.
think it's less than that.
Is it less than that?
I think they are doing it. I think they're doing three a year now.
Because if they
Because
release one
we
like this every year and then a thematic one and an IP one, I'm a happy
yeah
guy. I
yeah
just it's fun because they're so different that I look forward to seeing which one I got because of the difference. And that everything serves a purpose, everything fits a theme. And if you have a theme that you enjoy, this appeals to so many people. Like there are
yes
people that want the mythical, there are people that love the bionicle, there are people that want to have a band. You know, it appeals to so many people. Like if you love boba, easy.
yep
Put it on your desk at work. You know, not even if you're a Lego fan, like, oh, I have to have that because it's fun, especially if you're also building a Lego city. Everybody's different.
And actually, one of our new subscribers is a chocolatier at a chocolate shop and is actually very interested in collecting the chocolatier minifig because it's unique. That's a job that doesn't necessarily get a lot of love, and here they are represented in Lego form.
Do they have a Lego member of our audience yet?
They don't, but I think there's going to be a very, very strong contender for their minifig avatar that we'll be adding to the audience for them come May 1st.
Yes, if you're unfamiliar, we'll tell you at the end of the episode, I promise. Josh, I have a very quick thing that I have to ask you. Your top
Yes,
three choices if you had to like unbox them.
sure. Top three for me is going to be the diver, the swamp creature, and the boba.
Oh, I want Bionicle, Tuba Player, and Swamp Creature.
All right, we agree on swamp creature.
We agree on Swamp Creature. I don't know. I wasn't huge on Bionicle, but I enjoyed getting the canisters at the store. I find that fun. So it's a nod to that. I also like the mask. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. To be honest, I'm probably going to collect all 12.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the plan. I did that. The last time I did that was, don't get me wrong, I want to collect them all. I will eventually, and I will find them. But this is probably the one I'm looking forward to most since Dungeons and Dragons. And I didn't think Dungeons and Dragons was going to do it for me, but after a while, I was like, oh, I got to get the next one. So it did that. But yeah, we are both looking forward to the mystery minifigure series set. We are very excited for it. I can't wait to rip open those boxes. Also, a hint from the BlockCast. For some reason, Walmart always puts these out early on the shelves. So try to go to Walmart like 2 to 3 days early, and potentially, I'm not guaranteeing, I'm really not. You might actually find them early compared to other people or the people that want to resell them, and you get the ones that you want. So get there
Or you'll find
early,
empty
check
boxes,
every
as
day.
is usually my case when I go to Walmart.
You might find them, you might not. But literally, that's gonna be May. Josh, tell them what they could do.
All right, so let us know what sets you're excited for in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, stay tuned to the Blockcast as we will be continuing our theme of the Ultimate Lego Leaderboard,
Board,
maybe
board, board,
reviewing
board,
some
board.
of these sets after they've released and after we've gotten our hands on them.
And you know what? If you subscribe to our channel, Josh will add a physical minifigure to our actual audience. Josh, at his house, has a whole audience of actual minifigures for every single subscriber that we have, and there's 177 of you now.
That's true, and there is a line to get into the stadium here. We are under renovations to increase our studio size, so stay tuned to the Blockcast for more on that.
And Josh is going to bring you that with updates via the Instagram. So be sure to follow there too. We post a lot of cool sets. We talk about all the new sets that are coming as well. With that, my name's Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and you have been enjoying the Blockcast.
We're Lego fans. Click.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.